something that nobody in this parenting space is going to say to you. The way that you're trying to be a perfect parent right now is not helping your child. And in a lot of cases, it is actually making things way harder for them. I know that is very uncomfortable to hear. I know that you're doing everything you're doing right now because you love your child more than anything in the world. I know that. And I'm not here to add more guilt to what you're already carrying. I'm here because I have spent years walking into homes and seeing what this pressure actually looks like in real life. Not from the outside, from the inside. Sitting at kitchen tables, doing after school pickup, helping with bedtime routines, being there at the end of long days when everyone is tired and there's simply no energy left to perform. And what I see over and over and over in home after home after home is that parents who are so focused on trying to be everything their child needs that they stop being what their child actually needs most. Present, human, real. And today I want to walk you through what I've actually seen. Not what sounds good online, not what looks good on social media, but what actually works in real homes with real children in real time on real days. And I'm going to give you 5 things that I see constantly in homes where children are genuinely thriving. Not perfect, thriving. Now, before I get into that, I want you to understand something. Because I think a lot of parents feel like they're the only ones who are struggling with this. And let me tell you something. You are not. There are a lot of parents right now who are exhausted. Not just tired, burnt out. Running on empty while still trying to show up every single day. And a big part of that is coming from the pressure to do everything right. To say the right thing, to respond the right way, to create the perfect environment, and to not mess up anything. And what I've seen very clearly is that the more pressure a parent puts on themselves to be perfect, the more disconnected they actually feel. And that's the part that nobody actually talks about. Because on the outside, everything might look good, but on the inside, it feels like you're constantly falling short. And I've sat with parents in those moments. At the end of the day, when the house is finally quiet and they're saying things like, I feel like I did everything today, and I still feel like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And that feeling right there, it is not coming from your child. It is coming from the standard that you've been trying to meet. And here's the part I need you to hear. Your child is not measuring you the same way that you're measuring yourself. Again, your child is not measuring you the way that you're trying to measure yourself. They are not looking for perfect. They're looking for a connection. That's it. They want to connect with you. Now, let me tell you what I actually see in homes where the children are doing well. And when I say doing well, I don't mean well behaved. I mean children who feel secure, children who are comfortable being themselves, children who recover from hard moments instead of being crushed by them. And the first thing I see in those homes is this. The parents make mistakes out loud. Again, the parents make mistakes out loud. It is totally okay to make a mistake out loud. And I know that sounds simple, but that is powerful. I've watched parents say things like, I got frustrated earlier and I shouldn't have spoken to you like that. I am sorry. No long explanation, no blaming the child, just ownership. Take ownership. And what that does for a child is it teaches them that mistakes are not the end of the world because they're watching you handle yours. They're learning that you can mess up and come right back from it. And believe me, that matters so much more than getting things right the first time. The second thing I see is that those parents choose presence over perfection. And I want to make this very real for you. This doesn't look like a perfectly planned activity. It doesn't look like having everything done before you sit down. It looks like 10 minutes on the floor even when the kitchen isn't clean yet. It looks like sitting down on the floor and listening to your child tell you something that makes totally no sense to you instead of rushing to do the next thing. I've been in homes where everything is perfectly structured, and I've been in homes where things are a little messy, a little undone, but the parents are there. And I can tell you without hesitation, the second home is always what feels better for the child. The third thing I see is that parents have a life outside of their child. You have to have a life outside of your child. I know this one can sound hard to hear, but I've also seen what can happen when parents give everything they have without ever refilling themselves. They get exhausted, they get overwhelmed, and eventually that starts to show up in how they respond. Not because they don't love their child, but because they have nothing left. And in those homes where things feels more balanced, the parents have something that is theirs. It might be small, like a walk, a conversation, a quiet moment, but it exists, and that matters. Because your child does not just need you to be present, they need you to be okay. Your child needs you to be okay. The fourth thing I see is that those parents repair. They don't get it right all the time. None of them do, but they come back and they repair. And I've seen how powerful that is. A parent coming back and saying, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have yelled. I am sorry. That moment teaches your child more than any perfect day could. Because now the child understands something that is very important. That relationships can have hard moments but still be safe. And the fifth thing I see is that those parents have made a decision at some point, whether they say it out loud or not. They have decided that good enough is enough. Again, good enough is enough. And that decision changes everything. Because now they're no longer chasing something that is impossible. They're showing up consistently, imperfectly, but with love. Now, I want to give you something before we end. And this might be the most important part of this entire video. A permission slip. You have permission not to get it right all the time. You have permission to have moments where you're tired, where you're frustrated, and when you simply don't know what to do. You have permission to put your child to bed and to sit down in silence without feeling like you have to be doing something more. You have permission to be human, because that is what your child actually needs from you. Not perfection, not constant performance, but you. They simply need you. And I want you to really hear this. The parents that have seen raise children who are confident, who are secure, and are emotionally healthy are not the parents who never get it wrong. They are the parents who show up over and over and over again, even when it wasn't perfect. So, if you've been carrying this weight of trying to do everything right, this is the moment to put some of that down. You don't have to do everything, because you were never meant to be everything. If this gave you something today, save this video and come back to it on your hard days. And if you know any parent who needs to hear this, share it with them, because a lot of people are actually carrying this very quietly. And if you're in the middle of doing this right now, you're doing better than you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.